The story of Rockwood Manor begins with Francis Bell. Francis was an adept cattle trader, and as such, traveled the valleys of Virginia bringing cattle back to his home farm in Swoope, Augusta County, Virginia, which he ran with his brother Samuel Hayes Bell. In his travels to the New River Valley, he met and learned from master trader James Randall Kent, who was married to Mary Cloyd and lived at Buchanan's Bottom, now known as Kentland and owned by Virginia Tech. J.R. Kent was the wealthiest man in Montgomery County. He had 5 daughters. Francis married Sarah James Kent in 1855. He took her to Swoope, but she was extremely close to her family and became homesick. Her first 2 children passed away before being named. On a trip to Pulaski, twin boys were born in a farm overseer's cottage on mountain home property that had been a wedding gift from her father. They moved there soon afterward. The original home was small, 4 rooms with a separate kitchen and servants' quarters. 2 other children soon followed, Mary and Francis. During the Civil War, it is believed that Bells furnished cattle, horses, and crops for the Confederacy. As a result of the conflict, anyone owning property valued over $20,000 lost their citizenship. Pardons were later given. Luckily, the brothers' 2 farms were left intact, and the herds were quickly rebuilt. James Randall Kent was more affected and died in 1868. Shortly afterward, in 1871, property for the Rockwood Manor was purchased from the Darst family, and the home began several years of construction in 1873. This location put Francis Bell's cattle operation right next to Dublin's railroad depot, making shipment easier. He became well known for the shipment of live cattle to the coast and then by ship to England.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1 says, "To everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under the heaven." Just as this old farm once had a thriving cattle population, it is obviously adapted to become a bed and breakfast, and now inside this large barn today we'll be having a wedding ceremony of my niece Erica and her fiance Chris, and it's exciting to see this place still operating and still having a purpose. You know, in life sometimes we feel like there's just no more purpose for us as we get older and our lives change and we go from childhood to adulthood and then through our middle-aged years and even into our elderly years. We may feel like there's just no more purpose for us, but God has a plan for each of us, and I encourage you to seek out that plan, seek out God's will, find His purpose for you. Be faithful to church and serve God and have that purpose that God has for you in your life. Pray and ask Him for wisdom to see what that purpose is, and God will do amazing things through your life. Just as this place still here has life and is flourishing, just in a different way, you too can flourish, and God can use you in great ways. So I encourage you to do that.